Speaking of this program, let's talk about another program, and that's AEW Dynamite. Several people have been sending in stories. I hear noise behind me. I hope the listeners don't, but there's noise coming from somewhere.
I can't hear any. I think it's the voices in your head, because every time you say that, the listener, the cult of Cornette, they always say, we don't hear any of this shit, and I never hear it. I don't know what's going on with do you have some form of aggressive tinnitus?
Wait, I'm hearing, what's the frequency, Kenneth? No.
That's the problem.
People have been sending in questions about the news that Orange Cassidy is now an agent for Tony Khan.
See, they've misinterpreted. They misinterpreted. Tony didn't make him an agent for the wrestling program. Tony made him a secret agent. Because that's see, they get together in Tony's mansion basement and play every week, he and Pockets. And last week, Pockets was a Air Force pilot. And the previous week, Tony was a fireman. And now they've decided that Pockets is going to be a double knot spy. So he's a secret agent. Secret agent man, secret agent man. They've given you a number and Tony's paying your way. Down and down and down and down.
Well, I have here, this is from the Observer website by Ian Carey.
I'm sure it is.
Report, Orange Cassidy working as a producer/agent in AEW. The 39-year-old made his pro debut in 2004. In addition to his active in-ring schedule.
Here's another thing. I will say one good thing about this miserable piece of human effluvia. You got to give him credit for persistence. If you started doing something in 2004 and for 15 fucking years, nobody knew who the fuck you were or gave a shit, you distinguished yourself at nothing in any mainstream way, in any high-profile activity in the profession that you had chosen to toil away at, and then finally, after 15 years, a billionaire that thinks you're cute and needs friends puts you on national television. It's the American dream. Go ahead.
In addition to his active in-ring schedule, Orange Cassidy reportedly has
How many days a week do they work?
Well, he works, I think, like 1 day a week.
Yeah, it's active. It's almost comatose.
In addition to his active in-ring schedule,
Imagine if your heart only beat once a fucking day. That goddamn rapid heartbeat.
Orange Cassidy reportedly has a new role backstage in AEW as well. According to a report in Fightful Select, or from Fightful Select, the 39-year-old has picked up some additional work as a producer/agent for the company. Cassidy is said to have produced the recent Big Bill and Brian Cage versus Matt Sydal and Trent Beretta match on the July 7th Rampage. He also produced a recent Kingdom versus Infantry match in Ring of Honor.
Do what versus where? What now?
It was the Kingdom versus the Infantry.
God damn. So now
I was at the mess hall.
I was about to say, how are they just going to send the infantry against the whole kingdom? Don't they need the infantry and the fucking mounted soldiers to go against the whole entire assembled might of the kingdom of fucking Lilliput? What? Well, those classic barn burner matches that headlined WrestleMania have been the brainchildren or the brain sperm, possibly, of little Pockets.
On this topic, and obviously the role has somewhat changed from what it was, let's say, in the 80s, and those are really the first agents, as in you see veterans in the same suit every night, anytime you go to wrestling, on the road for the WWF. That was the beginning of the modern agent in a lot of ways. What makes a good agent nowadays? Because it seems like now it's really about working with, or it should be about working with guys on their matches, but what should be a good agent nowadays, especially for AEW?
Yeah, well, and we've talked about the agents started out in the WWF, just when Vince had, and it wasn't just for matches. Some of the agents, Tony Gurria, Dave Hebner, they were there to check up at the box office and or to make sure that the merchandise got sold properly and all the financial dealings were done. And other agents were there to not even, I mean, obviously they were always there for advice, but they would just tell the matches on the card, hey, here's what the office sent. They want 12 minutes. They want the baby face over. And they would watch the match and they would call in and give their thoughts to, the recording at the office that Finkel would then transcribe on whether the match was any good or not. So Vince would know, that kind of thing. And then as television got more, more, not only more important, but also more demanding in terms, it wasn't hard when they were all squash matches from every company to, you didn't need an agent. Okay, I've got, young Mike Moraldo, and we're going to go 4 minutes and I'm going to win with my finish. So there wasn't any need to agent that type of thing. And then when we started doing main events on television, it was main event guys against main event guys. You knew what to do. Again, the booker would say, okay, this is an angle, or in the middle of this, we're going to do whatever. He'd give you the framework. You go out and have the fucking match. But then live TV came in, and then bigger production values. And now the truck has to be clued in on what's going on in the matches. And especially when guys start doing dives, because the worst goddamn thing that ever happened to wrestling television production was dives and shit. Because even though that usually the same director and producer in the bigger companies are shooting the program every week, all of a sudden you can catch non-wrestling people unawares when the only indication you're going to do a dive is that the fucking spot in your head. You've seen him do it before. I bet he's going to dive. Yeah, he's going to dive. And the cameras would miss it. The director would miss it. So then the agent / producer became the guy that not only helped the talent with their match, not only gave them the finish or reinforced the finish to them, but the time they would have. And, you got to watch this camera on your entrance, and the truck wants you to do these type of things. And then they listen to the match that these guys are going to have, that they're going over endlessly until every bit of spontaneity is wrung out of it. And then the producer agent will go back in the truck and they will sit there while that match is in the ring, and they'll help feed the director. Now, be careful. He's about to do the big dive when so-and-so, gets his fucking pie in the face, then the dive's coming or whatever, so that it's not shot off camera. And then, of course, guys still go into business for themselves and do screwy shit you never see coming. And you might miss that. That's why things get missed. But so it's become almost like the babysitter, to where, you not only hopefully have more experience than the talent that you're dealing with, so you can actually help coach them and say, no, I wouldn't hit 17 drop kicks in a row. I think 3 will work. Just pause then and see what you think, or shit like that. Or help with spots that might fit these guys that they've never seen because they're not old enough. Hey, do this. That'd be fun. Change this around. And it could also be, telling them, here's how we're going to shoot this, and here's where the break is going to come. So you need to have a break spot. You want to start the heat there. Now it's a big goddamn collaboration. And there's multiple things, that all of which I've just mentioned, that the agent and producer is doing in between the television production crew and the folks in the truck and the guys in the ring. And that's what, at TNA, the last time I was there in 2012, full time, not when I visited, that was predominantly what I was doing over the last year, was working in between the guys with the matches and then in the truck, because, goddamn, at that point they'd had 18 different authority figures, and I was more valuable trying to carry that communication back and forth because I could speak both languages.
from whatever you saw in 87 or 88 and whatever you were involved with in 89, what goes into agenting, or what went into back then agenting a War Games match?
There was no agent for no. Even when we did the War Games in 89, we didn't have agents yet. See, Vince started the agent thing. We had Dusty and JJ was his assistant. And then when Turner Broadcasting took over, fired Dusty as booker, the revolving door of bookers was JJ was still an assistant, but he knew he was about to get out of there. Crockett was the booker. I don't even know if he had an assistant until they brought George Scott in, and that's when he was using Paul Jones got a little extra added office work at that point, and then Paul was kind of like an assistant booker. And George Scott's son, Byron, the referee, was his official stooge. But the booker gave you the goddamn match, whether it was War Games or whatever, and then the guys in the match worked it out. I don't remember. And then, and remember they brought Blackjack Mulligan in. George Scott did, because he was like, well, if nobody wants to do what I say, Blackjack will beat him up. And Blackjack was there for 2 weeks and fuck this and went home. But there weren't really multiple agents. The agents under Turner Broadcasting at first were the Chip Burnhams and the guys that went to the office and checked up and gave you your draw and stuff. And they were they brought guys in some cases that had worked in Turner Broadcasting as, not executive, maybe executives, but just like regular office workers, and sent them on the road to check up at box offices like they had suddenly joined the carnival and they didn't know what the fuck was going on.
You brought up Mike Moraldo earlier, better known as Ace Darling. Do you think he should have gotten a bigger chance on the main stage?
Well, yes, I do. But now that I've heard that he's had a successful life and an actual real career and, is happy and content, I'm glad he didn't, because wrestling might have fucked his life up too.
Well, I don't know how his life is today, but if he's having any trouble sleeping, or if he's having any aches and sores from his days in the ring, maybe.
Sores from his days in the ring?
Aches and sores. Aches and pains, I guess, not aches and sores. Hopefully he's not sore.
I'll tell you what, if you've got any sores on you from your days in the ring, you better get that shit checked out.
Maybe he's sore. Maybe he himself is sore from his days in the ring. No sores, just an overall soreness. And we can, of course, tell him a place to go where you can get some products to help him. Our friends at CB Distillery.
Yes, we can. And now you've got leprosy. I don't know if they're treating that here these days. Moraldo had that problem with that one time where he kept having fingers and toes fall off at random.
What?
But he's feeling much better now.
That's good.
But anyway, folks, again, yes, if the stress, anxiety, pain after physical activity, whether it may be exercise of the on-purpose kind, or maybe you were just late and trying to run for a bus and you didn't mean to run down the street that fast, but god dang it, you pulled your fucking hamstring. Whatever the case may be, our friends at CB Distillery, cbdistillery.com, have the fine products that can help with all these, because 90% of customers report better sleep with CBD. 81% say CBD helps with stress and anxiety. 80% report less pain after physical activity with CBD. And 7% report that it helps you with your focus and concentration. If you take enough of these things, you can actually levitate small household objects just by concentrating on them.
No, you can't. And of course, you should only take the recommended dosage. You should never just go crazy and do your own thing.
Well, no, because then you'll run out of them and you'll have to buy more. And even though they are inexpensive for the value that you get, but it's a full range of carefully formulated CBD and other plant-based solutions there at CB Distillery. And they've got a variety of things that grow up out of the ground that can make you healthy, wealthy, and wise. They're going to chop up some swamp thing and send it on to you, and you just, you eat it or you drink it or you
they're not going to chop up some swamp thing. Again, it's CBD with some, as you put it, I think plant-based ingredients.
Yes, plant-based.
No one said anything about swamp. Nothing will be swamp-based.
Well, that's where, things grow well out there in the compost pile. Have you ever smelled a good smell? Have you ever smelled a good whiff of mulch?
Yeah.
That it promotes the growing of healing plant compounds and vital nutrients that these things are packed with at 100% clean ingredients.
That's right. No mulch. No mulch.
Well, no artificial flavors, no colors, artificial colors. There's some color. You'll see colors when you take But there's no artificial
You will
coloring.
see the regular colors you always see. I guarantee you that.
They'll be brighter than ever. There's no artificial coloring. There's no artificial flavoring. It's real flavor. Boy, I'll tell you what, you'll never get this taste out of your mouth. And there's no artificial preservatives in this, so that means that you're only getting the healthy, natural things that grow out of the ground and come springing up toward the sun and the sky when they get the nutrients from water and things and such. And scientists have worked over these things. The scientists, they urinate on them every day to make them
that's
grow.
not what they do. The scientists
they directly get the science in their bodies out into these plant-based products.
That's not the way science works, or not the way scientists operate. And I'm surprised. You should know these things, but let me just point out, this is the real deal. This is the real product. These people put a lot of heart and soul and really want to put out a great product. This is not the crap you're going to find down at the gas station.
Oh, no.
This is the real deal.
No, that gas station CBD won't do you any better than gas station smoked sausage used to back in the Mid-South wrestling days.
What?
Yeah, the only place that I could eat, the only place we could get any food coming back from Little Rock, Arkansas to Alexandria, Louisiana, which was 275 miles of two-lane road from 11 o'clock at night to 5 o'clock in the morning. And everything was closed back in those days when we got out to eat in Little Rock on our way to the highway as they called it. So we would stop at the state line between Arkansas and Louisiana at a gas station that also sold live bait, ammunition, firearms, knives, fishing equipment, and they had a case of barbecued chicken and smoked sausage and gravy and mashed potatoes and all that stuff. And I'd get me a big old smoked sausage on a stick, and I would dip it in their special gas station made barbecue sauce.
Oh.
And I'd eat that thing because that's the only thing I could eat.
Well, perhaps
none of that's in the stuff from CB Distillery.
And perhaps someone at home is hearing all this and just having horrible nightmares about that kind of situation. CBD would be a wonderful thing to help you get a good night's sleep and not have to worry about this crap.
That's true. And when you go to cbdistillery.com, they tell you about all of the different products they have. They sent us a sample pack. You got the gummies, you got the droplets, you got all kinds of stuff. And Stacy, as a matter of fact, we got that sample case last week. She's been asleep ever since.
No, stop it. That's not even true. She was awake yesterday.
In a day or two, I'm going to fucking nudge her in the ribs just to make sure, but she's getting a good week's sleep. And you can too, folks. And if you're frustrated, what?
No, you will get a good night's sleep, not a good week's sleep. Let's just clarify.
Well, set your alarm just to be safe. If you're frustrated with a health concern that's not getting any better, you can try CBD also from the source that we all trust, cbdistillery.com. There's no prescription required. You don't have to go visit a doctor. You just get your neighbor who can disguise their handwriting to write out a little note saying that you've recently undergone a complete hysterectomy and been in a major car wreck.
What?
And you send that in and they'll send you this stuff.
That's not how it works, and do not send
they dropped that requirement?
Hey, listen, do not send...
Now the doors are open, folks, and wide open.
Well, good. Here's a good idea for you, Kerry Von Erich. Don't write your own prescriptions.
Well, no prescription is required, but a note used to be, kind of the way you did that thing, and slip it under the door.
Signed Epstein's mother, I know.
Yeah, but anyway, so folks, again, the full range of carefully formulated or formally fillated.
Someone's been taking the sleep ones.
Yes, and I haven't woken up yet. Carefully formulated CBD and other plant-based solutions, healing plant compounds, vital nutrients, clean ingredients, 2 million satisfied customers, and at least another 3 or 4 million that are, still on the fence, but leaning toward the positive. And recommended by Mayo Clinic trained internist and preventive health specialist, Dr. Kevin Fry. He is a specialist at preventing health, and he can prevent your health.
No, that's not what that means. That's not what that means. He will help you with health that will prevent other things from happening.
Help you with health?
Maybe he can help you
prevent other things from happening?
Preventative health.
No, not preventative, preventive health. He's a specialist at preventing health.
Well, look, he's a fine guy. Check out his stuff.
Yeah, he's a fine guy, is Fry.
He's a Fry guy.
He's a Fry guy. Let me get you folks on the right path with my 20% discount. Yeah, you'll be going down the garden path to the righteous land with this one, folks. All you got to do is go to cbdistillery.com and enge the code JCE for your discount. CB Distillery, DISTILLERY.com, the promo code JCE. You're going to get 20% off whatever you would like to purchase from these fine people and sleep better and focus, concentrate. No levitation, though. I bent a spoon.
No, you did not.
I'm telling you.
No, you're not telling me
that. I had to stick it under my fucking heel and really pull up on it because I stared at it for 10 or 15 minutes. It didn't do shit, but I bent it. Anyway, enjoy better focus and concentration. CBDistillery.com.